The following program is sponsored by PokerStars.net.
For me, it started small. From pool halls in Toronto to poke rooms in Las Vegas.
It's given me a life
I never could have dreamed.
The game has taken me around the world. I've seen it all.
From the Windy City to Sin City, this game can make you a legend.
This game can make you a champion.
It may have started small.
It may have started small,
But now, it's the big game.
This is the next generation.
It doesn't get any bigger than this.
This is the PokerStars.net big game.
Welcome to Las Vegas, Nevada, and the newest big game in town. Alongside Joe Stapleton, I'm Chris Rose, where tonight some of the world's best poker players continue to battle it out in our state-of-the-art poker room with $800,000 in play at this table.
David Peat, or more commonly referred to as Viffer, is kicking things off with a bit more than the minimum, $150,000.
Barry Greenstein is back for another run on the big game. The three-time bracelet winner starts off with $100,000.
For his first trick, the magician Antonio Esfandiari starts off with $150,000.
Chau Giang has more than 50 World Series cashes to his name, plus 3 bracelets. He starts off with 200 GER.
And Rick Rahim, millionaire entrepreneur from Washington, D.C., starts off with $100,000.
And the fourth loose cannon this season is 29-year-old Troy Howard from Niagara Falls, New York. He's a music engineer and father of 5 who's being staked $100,000 to play tonight. And right now, he is with our Amanda Leatherman.
All right, Troy, you have 5 kids at home. What would doing well here at this table mean for you and your kids?
It would change their life, you know. They'd have something I never had, and everything I do for you, baby.
So cute. You're so confident. I love that. Do you feel confident today?
I feel confident. It feels like poker, and it's what I love. It's what I do.
All right, well, get out there and get them, all right?
Thanks.
Quick reminder that each loose cannon is staked $100,000, keeps all profits above the initial $100K, and at season's end, the loose cannon who's won the most money earns a North American Poker Tour passport worth $50,000.
Oh, there it is. Okay. How's it going? Here we go.
While you were gone, we proposed a 6-way all-in first hand.
Hey, I'm with it. We just got to run it twice.
Barry's famous for declining to run it more than once.
Yeah, they get
That's it? We're just playing?
That's it. We just play.
Run it. I'm rooting for you, Troy.
I appreciate it. I got 5 kids to feed.
5 kids?
5 kids to feed.
Are you serious? How old are you?
29.
How many of them are yours?
3 and 2 stepkids.
Troy's kids are 3 of a kind and a pair of stepkids. That makes a full house, right?
It does. Viffer is raised to 1,200. Action folds around to Rahim, who calls.
I promise there won't be any Danny Tanner jokes.
3 daughters and 2 stepsons.
Jeez, I'm 31. I'm afraid of marriage. You have 5 kids at 29. That's so sick.
Right. Well, you're afraid of commitment. That means you'll fold, right?
It's a good line, Troy. I like that. I like your style.
Antonio's yet to feel pot committed to any of the girls he's dated.
First flop of the night, King 7 deuce, top pair for Viffer. Rahim checks. Viffer fires 2,000.
Rick's reaching for chips. He's either going to call or raise with no pair, no draw, and a weak ace high. Neither one is really recommended.
Raises to 7,000. Viffer quickly calls.
It's the first hand. We've already seen our first sicko bluff.
Check in the dark.
Rick is checked in the dark. The turn, the 5 of spades.
Sleep in the park.
Viffer checks.
That's a new one for me, too.
8 of spades on the river. Rahim bets 15,000.
5 does have some showdown value, but this is a very loose bluff.
Viffer calls.
You're going to win. I got ace high. Nice hand.
Love that King 9, huh?
What am I supposed to do? I can't help it.
Supposed to win the pot.
I think Rahim may have misread his hand as well. Could explain the value bluff on the river.
So Viffer takes down a pretty big pot to get us started as we take a look at the rules of the big game. Each table lasts exactly 150 hands. The action pre-flop is pot limit, then becomes no limit after the flop. Blinds are 2 and 400 with a $100 ante, all of which is paid by the player on the button. Every player begins with at least $100,000 and can rebuy for up to $500,000.
I just need 2 double ups, guys. That's it. Just 2 double ups.
I told you if they fold around to us.
I'll take it in increments. I don't need it all at once.
My man.
So what if you win like 50? Are you going to come back the next day?
Man, I don't know. I really haven't made a decision yet, you know.
What do you do, Troy?
I own an irrigation company, and I also own a recording studio.
His studio is the greenest lawn in the city.
And I play poker. Not like you guys, but pretty soon, though.
You're playing poker just like us right now.
Action is folded around to Antonio Esfandiari. Jack 7 suited. Raised to 1100. Chau on the button folds. Rick Rahim, 5 deuce offsuit. He's playing. Calls.
Starting to like this guy.
What's the bet total?
The loose cannon in the big blind also calls.
Antonio.
Antonio, baby.
The flop.
Here, fishy, fishy, fishy.
Deuce Jack 8.
Check.
If Antonio's angling to go fishing, now he's got a pair of hooks to do it and a flush draw to go with it.
Checks around to the magician. Top pair. Bets 2,400.
Antonio's trying to build himself a nice pot.
Rahim with bottom pair.
Looks like it may be just too big of a piece for him to get away from it.
He calls, and the loose cannon folds.
If Antonio's trying to build a pot, Rick Rahim just fired up the kiln.
The turn. 3 of hearts giving Esfandiari a flush.
Check.
Rahim checks.
Antonio's made his flush. I'm sure he'd prefer not to see another heart hit on the river.
Antonio bets 5,400.
Rick's drawing dead. Even if he does think he has the only heart, he's not getting the right odds to call, so I'm not really sure what he's tanking over.
Rick does fold.
Winner, winner. That's Antonio, in case you didn't know.
Just start playing? Online qualifier?
No, I went to the school of Viffer. Bet.
We asked David Peat or Viffer about the origin of his nickname. He declined to tell us. Apparently too hot for TV. But I heard the school of Viffer is sort of like Hogwarts for poker players. And I have that neck tattoo to get in.
He liked that, Joe. Barry Greenstein, 9-4 offsuit, folds. King Queen for Antonio Esfandiari.
Chau, careful with the way you look at your cards.
Thank you. I kind of saw the camera, so I had so big.
I could see if I wanted to. How about that?
Right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Antonio raised to 1,100 and helped out his buddy to the left.
Should prove the magician isn't up to any dirty tricks.
Action folds to the loose cannon. Ace Queen suited in the small blind. Just calls, as does Viffer. 3 to the flop, which is deuce 9-7. Everybody whiffs. Howard checks. Viffer bets 2,500.
Antonio does have 2 overs, only a king high right now. Seems like he might not believe Viffer.
Or maybe he does.
I should have raised. I know I had you murdered pre-flop.
Troy folds and shows.
What'd you show?
Ace, queen of spade.
Troy had him murdered pre-flop and on the flop, playing ace, queen of spades pretty passively.
So what about some props? What are we going to do?
I'm in.
I didn't tell you the prop yet.
It didn't matter to him. He's just in.
I got some props. Yo, Rick Rahim, you the bomb, dude.
You guys are starving yourself for 3 days, all right? You two?
I mean,
no?
I did offer him that bet.
I can't do it. I started a sick diet 3 days ago.
Yeah?
I'm eating out of Tupperware for 3 months. No drinking. 3 months. That's hard for me.
Hard for you?
That is hard.
No drinking.
What's your bet? Your bet?
It's like 30,000, but we both have the same bet. So.
What's the Tupperware thing though? Like just pre-made meals?
Yeah, my
dietitian or whatever.
Yeah.
Who you bet?
Brian Rast.
Oh, Brian Rast. He drinks too, right?
He drinks, but not for a while.
Brian Rast is another professional poker player.
Antonio is raised to 1,100.
I definitely drink more than Brian Rast.
And action is folded around to Barry, who calls.
Barry's decided he wants to defend his big blind.
There's been a very bad influence on a few of them.
Jack 9-8 on the flop. Barry checks middle pair.
He's also got a gut shot.
Antonio checks bottom pair. 6 of spades on the turn.
Barry's picked up an open-ender, but Antonio's picked up a gut shot straight flush draw.
Barry bets 2,500.
After the check on the flop, Barry may think his hand is best.
Esfandiari calls.
Antonio's eights are beat, but he does have a very strong draw.
Queen of hearts on the river. Barry checks.
Queen's an overcard for Barry and also busts his draw. Puts a 4-card straight on board.
Antonio fires 5,200.
He may have picked up on the fact that the queen was a scare card for Barry.
And Greenstein folds.
Antonio gets Barry to lay down the best hand.
So Antonio performs a little magic on Barry and runs the bluff to get his night going in the right direction. If you want to appear on the big game and be a loose cannon, simply log on to PokerStars.net. There are free qualifying tournaments every day. Don't go anywhere. We are just getting started.